Feminism has been around for a while. The suffragette movement to give women the right to vote is about 120 years old in the West. During the Second World War, women worked in the factories, men were overseas. That accelerated the trend for women to leave the home to enter what had been a men's world. When I was in university 30 or so years ago, women had reached parity in law school enrollment and actually were a majority in med school. There were more women students than male students, even if the women continued to drop out of those professions at a higher rate than men did, usually to run and raise a family. But there was radical feminism afoot when I was in campus politics, and it seemed like a vigorous force back then. In the last 20 years, I think popular culture has completely adopted that. It's not just pro-women and pro-girl. I think it's actually anti-male. Hollywood movies, TV sitcoms, even commercials. Show me a TV commercial where a traditional dad is treated seriously or with respect, as opposed to being the goofy fossil who needs to be schooled by more with-it demographics. In schools, teachers are specifically and strategically told not to call upon boys. Girls are promoted. There are endless programs to boost girls in school, especially in science and math. Men have been drummed out of so many places. The entire industry called human resources, just made up really, can honestly be described as a way to neutralize male corporate power by replacing objective measurements like sales with feelings measurements. It's what almost undid Twitter until Elon Musk fired the whole make work, fake work HR wing and its political wing. I think it was actually this video that did it.
Welcome to a day in my life as a Twitter employee. So this past week went to SF for the first time at a Twitter office, badged in. Honestly, took a moment to just soak everything in. What a blessing. Also started my morning off with an iced matcha from the perch. Then I had a meeting, so quickly scheduled one of these little pod rooms, which were so cool. They're literally noise canceling. Took my meeting, got ready for lunch. Look how delicious this food looks. Oh my goodness, I was so overwhelmed. Then made my way down to this log cabin area. I don't know what this is, but it was really cool. Played some foosball with my friends to kind of unwind a bit. Also found this really cool meditation room that I thought was super neat. I didn't do any yoga, but they have this yoga room if you are a yogi, so also thought that was really cool. Had a couple more meetings in the afternoon, had a ton of projects that we needed to knock out. Say hi to my teammates. Went to the library to kind of get some more work done. Obviously had to have our afternoon coffee, so made some espresso. And then before leaving for the day, had some red wine that's on tap. Went up to the rooftop and just honestly enjoyed the beautiful weather. So awesome trip.
But my point is, women do rule the world, or at least the Western world, the luxurious postmodern West. Not sure if women rule the world in Ukraine or Russia. It's very much a men's time to fight and die. That's what men are expected to do. But there has been an anti-female insurgency in the West, even as women have been at the highest heights. Men are now allowed to compete on women's sports teams, undermining the whole notion of what is a woman. Boys are allowed to compete against girls, including in contact sports. Even the Olympics let this male boxer smash female boxers in the face, and that's not sport. That's something, but that's not sport. Not just in the sports arena or field, but also in the change rooms. And if you complain about a man being in the women's change room, you are transphobic. Men are allowed to serve their time in prison in women's prisons if they just identify as a woman. They often commit rapes again against fellow inmates. Prison guards will punish women if they don't call men ma'am. It's like this guy. Remember him?
Give me my fucking money back.
Excuse me, sir. There's a young man in here.
Excuse me, it's ma'am. It is ma'am.
I can call the police if you'd like me to. You need to settle down.
You need to settle down and mind your business, okay?
Both of you guys?
Ma'am. Once again, ma'am.
I said both of you.
No, you said sir. Once again, it's ma'am.
I actually said both of you guys. It was general.
Right beforehand, you fucking said sir.
Sir? Okay.
Motherfucker, take it outside. If you want to call me sir again, I will show you a fucking sir.
I apologize.
Motherfucker.
I apologize now.
Imagine having someone like that in the cell next to yours and being forced to comply and submit. That's the insane left. But on another part of the insane left, there's a misogynistic immigration that is a war on women as well, as in bringing in millions of men from places where they rape women as a matter of course. Scratch that. They typically rape girls as a matter of course. Here's a woman describing life in her home country of Afghanistan.
What is life like currently for women and girls under the Taliban in Afghanistan?
It can only be described as destitute, a deplorable state of being. Women are, not only are they not equal right human beings under Taliban rule, but they are subhuman in the way that they are treated. As you mentioned, women cannot speak out loud. So what I'm doing right now is illegal in Afghanistan. There's all sorts of weird and frankly inhuman things that are going on, including women being told that they should only be able to see through one eye, because why would you need two eyes if you're only staring at the pavement? Women haven't been able to work. My family members in Afghanistan lost their jobs the moment the Taliban came into power. And let's not forget that the general policy by the Western world has been to freeze all assets and aid going into Afghanistan. So what is this country that we are sending these women and men back to? Well, it's a country where they can't make money, where there is no health or social care service. We're talking about a group of men, the Taliban, who have created almost inhospitable conditions for Afghan women, not to mention gynecological care or schooling. This is probably one of the worst places to be a woman on earth.
That interview was in the United Kingdom, where they are currently fast-tracking 200,000 Afghans right into UK neighborhoods. This was actually the subject of that super injunction where the court said you weren't even allowed to talk about it. 200,000 Afghans. According to the British police who track nationality, Afghans are 22 times more likely to commit rape than British men. What are they doing? That's what's driving the Pink Ladies protests in the UK these past weeks. Women dressed in pink peacefully protesting outside migrant hotels where single military-age migrant men are stashed. So many of them house accused rapists. These hotels have 100, 200, 300 men. Typically, they have several accused rapists within them. And that's not an accusation. That's an observation. That is how many there are. I was in Epping, where a man who had landed just 8 days earlier and went into the migrant hotel, he was accused of rape after 8 days. Of course he was. Where he comes from, a woman uncovered, not wearing a burqa, not protected by a male guardian, is fair game. The police in the UK don't do much because they're worried they'll be called racist if they do. So they leave women and girls to fend for themselves. Here's a couple of tweens. One is 14, I understand, one is 12, fending off the advances of a migrant man in Scotland. Now, when I was in Norwich and Epping, women said they had complained to police about migrant men lurking around playgrounds and taking photos of young girls, and the police were called and said there was nothing they could do about it. So watch this 14-year-old girl who clearly has been through this so many times, and the police were of no avail. Here's a 14-year-old girl from Scotland brandishing a knife and an axe to try, in her own way as a 14-year-old girl, to scare off a migrant man who clearly had his eye on her sister for a while. Now, the Scottish accent here is very thick, but she's saying things, you can hear some of it like, get away from her, don't touch her, get away from us, don't touch my little sister, she's 12. Now the migrant knows what he's doing too. He's asking her to brandish the weapons because he's going to show the video to the police and get her arrested, which is exactly what happened. Here, take a look at the video.
You okay?
Yes, you have a knife.
You don't. Hey, I'm fucking 12, mate. You're fucking bad and
Why are you fucking with us?
You're fucking kid bashers.
Show the knife. Show the knife. Show the knife.
Get away from her.
Show the knife. Show the knife.
Don't touch her.
That's it. That's it. Show the knife.
Don't touch my little sister.
Show the knife. That's it.
Don't fucking touch my little sister. She ain't fucking 12. Wait till I fucking
show the knife. Maratha.
Don't touch her, you're to me, don't touch her.
I think that was in Aberdeen. There's been some flag-bearing protests about what happened there. The police don't care. They're too afraid to arrest any migrants. There's a number of Brits who try to take these migrants on by stinging them, by setting up online fake profiles, posing as 12-year-olds or whatever. And these migrant sex pests meet up, arrange a meeting with girls or boys, and they actually find it's a group of, I guess, vigilantes. There's so many examples. There's a different example posted online almost every day. There are so many of them. It's when you take people from a low-trust society and dump them into a high-trust society, it's the girls who will be the sacrifices. Police grudgingly come and arrest the men sometimes, and sometimes they do get jailed for a few months, but mainly they're let go with a warning by the system. I wish I were kidding. There are hundreds of these clips. Here's a few of them. What do you expect when you bring in millions of men from a rape culture? Do you think a quick flight over from Pakistan or Afghanistan is enough to change an entire lifetime worth of beliefs? Take a look.
So basically, right, today you're going to be arrested by the police. Trigger warning, guys. This is a really bad trigger warning, this one. 1 for sexual grooming of a child, 2 causing a child to watch sexual acts times 186.
Yeah, but you... No more. But you've been turned up to have sex with this child. Yes. Yes.
No, I never
you
do
have
it.
said that in this here. You have said that. Haven't you?
No,
you
I
have
never do it.
You never?
Yeah.
You sent her 3 videos, pornographic videos, to a child. What gives you the right?
Did you talk about licking his ass?
What?
Did you talk about licking his ass? Before you slid your dick into his bum?
No.
Did you say that?
Have I? What the problem if I meet him?
Right. So you think the only problem is if you actually meet him.
Yeah.
Right. So you don't see a problem talking online with a child sexually. You don't see a problem? It's against the law. You're not allowed to talk sexually to children. He's a 14-year-old boy.
Those are just 3 examples. I promise you I could give you 300 if you had the time. Hey, let me put it another way. Would you send your 14-year-old daughter by herself to go for a walk in a park in rural Pakistan or Afghanistan, or heck, in urban Pakistan or Afghanistan without you there to guard her? Of course you wouldn't. That would be insane. But then why would you do that same thing if you brought over 1 million people from Afghanistan and Pakistan and Syria to the UK? It's not the geography in Pakistan or Afghanistan that's the danger. It's the people, it's the culture. Not all of them, of course. But 22 times more often in Afghanistan, according to UK police. There was a terrible murder of a young Dutch girl a few days ago by a Syrian migrant. By the way, why are there any Syrians still in the West? The war in Syria is over. They can go home. In fact, 2 million Syrians have actually gone home. But why are they still here in Canada or the United Kingdom, in Germany or the Netherlands? Well, you know why. So a Syrian migrant is accused of murdering a Dutch girl days after he was accused of raping another. Shocking story. And look at what the chief imam of Ireland, who's from Pakistan himself, has to say about it. It's just astonishing. I'm going to read to you from a Facebook post that he deleted after the Irish were not too pleased with it. This is from the top Muslim cleric in Dublin. It's just incredible. The murder of 17-year-old Lisa in the Netherlands is heartbreaking. Now, let me skip to his prescription. Although men are the source of violence against women, we must also face a painful reality. People coming from a different cultural context are at greater risk of committing such acts when there is no proper cultural awareness training or integration. Unfortunately, across Europe, including here in Ireland, we see that asylum seekers often receive no meaningful orientation education or guidance on societal values, gender equality, and respect for women. Integration is not just about accommodation, but about safety and shared values. Yeah, I think you're right, mate. I'll read a little more. We must not ignore these gaps. God forbid that someone something like this happens here, authorities must view integration and cultural awareness as an essential part of asylum policy that protects both vulnerable people in society and the asylum seekers themselves from isolation and marginalization. So what is he saying? Because some of the things he's saying there, I just said. These people are coming from rape cultures. They know rape. They accept rape. Rape is what happens where they're from. But I think he's saying that rape is part of them. It's who they are. He's sort of saying the quiet part out loud. But then he's saying that it's Ireland's fault and Ireland caused it and Ireland's not fixing it because they're not giving more guidance to these migrants on not raping or murdering women. Seriously, he's talking about this in reaction to a Dutch girl being murdered by an accused rapist. Like that's the kind of thing that a friendly pamphlet is going to drum out of someone who has been raised in that culture. The thing about Pakistani rape gangs, which the Western mind cannot fathom, is that the rape gangs were often families, brothers, cousins, uncles, fathers and sons. They committed these rapes together as a group, one after another, with a deliberately white Gentile victim. That's unthinkable in the West. Rape is so depraved, you would never say, I'm going out with 20 buddies to commit this heinous crime together. You wouldn't know 20 rapists. You wouldn't trust that they would keep your rape a secret. That is what's been going on for decades in the UK. It's astonishing. And the Pakistani Muslim Imam of Dublin is saying, we need some integration. We need some training. Can we train people not to rape and murder? That's what this Pakistani Imam is saying. It's here, but don't be mad at the murderer. He just didn't know, and that's our fault. So that's Ireland for you. Say, do you think we have this kind of thing in Canada? I don't know. Here's a news release just from today from the Peel region, which surrounds Toronto. Headline, arrest made, additional suspects sought in attempted kidnapping. I'll read it to you. The 11 Division Criminal Investigation Bureau has made an arrest and is searching for 2 remaining suspects in connection with an attempted kidnapping in Mississauga. On June 24th at about 10:20 p.m., 2 young women were walking near Britannia Road West and Queen Street South when 3 masked suspects approached and tried to lure them to a light-colored Audi SUV. The suspects chased and attempted to grab the victims, with reports that one may have had a gun and another a knife. A passerby intervened and the suspects fled westbound in the Audi. The victims were not physically injured. On August 18th, following a thorough investigation, 26-year-old Waleed Khan of Etobicoke was arrested and charged with 33 offenses related to kidnapping, firearms, auto theft, and more. A search of his residence also led to the seizure of 2 loaded prohibited firearms, an AR-style rifle capable of automatic fire, and a pistol, both equipped with prohibited high-capacity magazines, along with over 110 rounds of ammunition. At the time of arrest, Khan was on probation for prior violent offenses and prohibited from possessing firearms. He has since been released with an ankle monitor. You let him go? The 2 remaining suspects are described as Middle Eastern. You don't say. Males, late teens to mid-20s, medium build, have seen the public are advised to not approach and call 911 immediately. The suspect vehicle, a light-colored Audi SUV, also remains outstanding. Yeah. Hey, guys, we've got that here in Canada now, too, don't we? And no, I don't think pamphlets are going to solve the problem. Yeah. Things have never been better for women in the West, but that's falling apart pretty quickly, don't you think?